pass the ball.
I am
So the whole idea behind what John wanted me to do with people this morning was to try to pass stuff. So apologies to some of the guys that have seen some of this stuff, but there are some extensions of that. So for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Porter. I was at Central for a very long time, and now I'm at Barrie North. And coach with who I feel biased is one of the best coaches in Canada, Ron Andrews. And some of this stuff is going to be stuff that we have brought back from New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. So I think they're doing pretty well as far as developing rugby players. So we thought we should do that too. So I'm going to start out with what we call Kiwi drills. These are drills that we do every day. We'll build up quickly because most of you guys have a pretty high level of skill already. All right, so if Ryan and Josh are standing next to each other, what we're going to do is we're going to do just wrist turns to start off with. So you're going to stand very, very close to each other. I want you to lock your elbows into your side, and I want you, without moving your hand, your arms at all, I want you to pass the ball just with your wrists. Just with your wrists. It's all about pronation. Okay? Just with your wrists. Okay? Go ahead and try that. So lock your elbows into your side, and get as much flesh on the ball as possible. Don't hold it in your fingertips. Get it into your palms, and just learn the pronation. Your thumb should end up down, or at least pointing inward, so that you get that pronation. It'll be super easy with your dominant hand. It might be a lot harder with your weak hand. Make sure you don't change your hand placement. However you put your hand on the ball to pass, make sure you're doing the exact same thing. Okay, now you're going to back up a little bit, maybe one step. And now you're going, instead of keeping your arms at your side, you're going to put the point of the ball in your belly button. And you're going to pass the ball from your belly button without moving the ball sideways, right from your belly button. And you're going to end up what we call rifles, which means that you're going to be pointing exactly where you want the ball to go. So try and work very hard to come straight from your belly button forward. And you're going to alternate your hands as you have throws. Still working on that pronation, so your thumb at least comes in or down. Try not to bring the ball up your abdomen and throw it. Go right from your belly button. Let's remember we want to have a good rugby profile, so we should bend our knees and we should have our chest forward over our knees. Grip palm, actually grip ball with the thumb, an active thumb. We want an active thumb, folks, which means you're actually gripping with your thumb. We don't want a passive thumb where it's just sitting on the side of the ball. How's that feeling? Not too bad? So the next progression in this is now to, instead of loading the ball on your abdomen, which is not something that's natural in a rugby game, we're going to now load the point of the ball on your hips, same side hip. The big key with this is that most people want to pull their ball back to be able to swing their arm. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep the ball nice athletic rugby stance and come straight from the hip, snap, and then rifles pointing at our target. Okay? Alternating hands as you get a chance to. Really contract. Contract the front, shoulder, and chest. Try and use that hand straight as this. Really use the front of your shoulder and your chest and your tricep. Your hands should be straight out in front of you when you're done. We don't want to short arm it, so our arm is bent when we're done. Make sure you're switching back and forth between your dominant hand and your weak hand. The tendency is to cheat and put the ball beside your hip. Please make sure that you're keeping the ball point on your hip. The anatomy students, on your anterior superior iliac spine, that's that bump where your belt goes. Okay, so we'll progress into the next phase of this. I know Josh knows this because he's done them a million times. So this time now you're going to turn so that they're facing opposite ways from your partner, so you're both using the same hand. All right, your power hand is obviously your backhand. This time, instead of putting the point on the ball on your hip, you're now going to put the flat of the ball on your hip. So the point of the ball is actually pointing at your partner. All right? The change to this, Josh, is we're going to take our support hand off. We're going to point at our target. So we're going to have the ball here, get an athletic rugby profile, one-handed, and we're going to come forward, and our hands are going to come together. All right? You're going to need to open the lead foot. You can't stay blocked and try and pass across, because now there's no sequencing of the muscles, right? So we need to open that lead foot just a little bit so that we can bring our torso through, right? What we want to resist is this. Our hands end up like this. We want to come through so that we rotate onto the front foot, okay? And our pistols, our rifles are pointing at the target, okay? So you might want a little bit of wider stance, just so that you can shift your weight. Good. After you've done, say, 20 passes, switch and face the other way. Make sure you get an athletic stance and shift your weight from your back foot to your front foot. We're not going to release that back foot yet. Is everybody doing their dominant hand right now? Yeah. Okay, just hang on for half a sec. So one of the things that we learned from what do they call them? Are they 15 now or 16? What are they now?
Super Rugby.
Super Rugby. The Sharks, Ron was in Durban, South Africa for the World Championships, and he got a chance to train with the Sharks. They're from New Zealand. I don't remember what their whole name is. But they talked about the difference between being very army and being wristy with your pass. And what they really want in New Zealand is wristy, right? So when you're doing this, really think about snapping the wrist through. Snap that wrist through and create torque with the wrists rather than contracting the muscles of the chest to get this through. All right? Do that with your dominant hand, and hopefully you'll be able to do it with your weaker hand. If you haven't switched to your weaker hand, make sure you do that. interest of continuing, we'll continue on with the progression. So you need to be yet another step wider. So this time now we're going to add in some conditions for the catch. All right? So we're going to go from being one-handed in an athletic profile to two-handed, so that it's a more natural rugby feeling. And we're going to release this time, we're going to shift our weight and we're going to release the back foot off the ground. The big thing is that we're going to try and make sure that when we shift our weight, we keep our chest over our front knee, keep our chin down, so that the ball doesn't sail. The tendency in this drill with younger kids is to do this. They come through and their chest leans back and then the ball sails on them. Right? So we want to keep, as we come through, we want to keep that chest down over so that we keep that going. We're going to add in some conditions for the catcher now. The catcher is going to put, he or she is going to put his hand out like this. Put your other hand on your thigh. And what I want you to do is really focus on bringing this hand out to catch. I want you to wait until the last second. Try and keep this hand stationary, and as the ball arrives, boom. And what we're going to try and force people to do is learn to take the ball as early as possible. So not only are we focusing on passing right now, but we're also focusing on the catch. All right? Throw this thing as hard as you're capable of doing and still being accurate. Still open your front foot. You guys might want to move away from the mat so you don't have to step on the mat. Open your front foot so that you can come over top of it. Release your back foot, Zoe. Actually, stride forward enough that you have to actually bring your foot off the ground. Throw it harder, Mark. That catcher, get that front hand out. Front hand out. This is where it becomes super important. The thrower is accurate. Hit them in the target. Then reach forward and don't let the ball come into your body. Reach forward and take it as early as possible. Sorry for that. So, this is really difficult. It seems like a super simple drill, right? But it's really difficult to be really good at it. So, the problem we're running into is that the passes are all over the mat, right? And therefore our catches, we have a lot of people catching the ball like this, with their bent arm, and the ball's into their body, right? So we're not teaching ourselves to go get the ball, because we're not sure where the ball is going to be. And that was the problem Canada was having last night, is their passes executed just from a passing standpoint are not bad, but the accuracy is all over the place, right? And therefore the catcher is reaching back here to grab the ball, and that's why it has to be knocked, right? So catcher, I really want you to try to think about, bam, I got to come forward and get that ball as early as possible instead of waiting for it to get to here. All right? Do that. After you've done a few passes, make sure you go to your weak hand. Gary, you're super risky, which is awesome, but you're losing a little bit of torque because you're short arming it, right? And yeah, that one was better because you came through more. Recognize the activation of his core as part of the pass. So you're going to load the ball like you're normally getting ready to deliver a long spin pass. Load the ball like you're, yeah, the two-hand regular game. You're going to come around the side of it here, and I want you to put your fingertips on the ball, right? And as soon as he starts, as soon as you feel him starting to go, as soon as you feel him starting to go, I want you to latch onto the ball. Right? And what you're going to do is try and maintain a good rugby profile, and I want you to think about executing the skill as much as possible. When he stops the ball, you should feel your core engaging to try and bring the ball through. You're not actually going to rip it out of his hands, right? What we're trying to do is get people to realize on this, I've got to not only be bent and loaded through my glutes and quads, but also through my core. And I want to get that feeling of the core snapping into it. All right? Because the next one we're going to do, we're going to actually really whip the ball. Actually try and pull it through. Can you feel it? Can you feel this engaging? And a little bit. Try a little harder. You feel that engaging now? There you go. So do that 5 or 6 times with each hand, with each partner, right? So that we can feel that good rugby profile on the delivery of the pass. You can actually try and pull the ball through if you want. Think about how you would be passing it here. So right now you got the ball loaded going this way, right?
Yeah.
We want it loaded going out. Flatten the ball against your body. There you go.
Like going that?
Yeah, because you wouldn't pass it.
Yeah.
Right now you're looking for the ball to go over there. And you'd be passing to go over there, right? Did everybody get a chance to do it both hands? Yeah? So on this one then, the next progression of this is, the reason we do that core stuff, because on this next one, it's going to simulate snapping the ball through as hard as you possibly can. So what's going to happen is you guys are going to be fairly far apart again. Depends on your skill level. And this time you're going to be facing the opposite direction like you were with the last one, but now instead of putting the ball on our hip, we're going to get into a delivery from the deck position, and we're going to put the ball on our thigh, just above our kneecap. So physically put the ball so that the flat of the ball is against your kneecap, and you're going to now come through, shift your weight, come over top of that front leg, and release your back leg so much so that you're going to have to step through. So when I come through, I'm going to have to catch myself by stepping through because I've stayed so low. We talk to our kids at high school level, because they need an image sometimes, about imagine you're looking at somebody over top your sunglasses. right? We want to look just over the top of the sunglasses. So I come through, boom, and I'm looking through my eyebrows. And so that resists their chin coming up and the ball sailing. All right? Throw it as hard as you can and still be accurate. Our catcher is still holding their target hand out and still going to get the ball as early as possible. Okay? Go ahead. Target, right? So both hands should come up and point where the ball is intended to go. No different than any other throwing sport. You want to be pointing at the target. If you feel that you have enough reps with your good hand, go to your weak hand. Alright, it's got to come straight from the leg, right? That was better. It's no different than spinning the ball from the deck. Or you do this, but leave your hand there so that you can get all of this. It's exactly the same thing. You don't want to reinforce by floating. You want to reinforce by leaving and now bringing all the muscles. Reach out and take the ball early, catcher. A few of you, because the ball's screaming at you, you're waiting. You want bent arms. Go out and get it. Take it as early as possible. How long am I supposed to go here? 9? As long as you want. Right till 2? Okay. Okay. Okay, just in the interest of moving on so you guys see the rest of this, I won't do a lot of reps, but onto the mat so that you don't wreck your knees. So you're going to kneel now. You're going to kneel facing your partner. Alright? Facing your partner. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the ball beside your back leg. Whatever knee's on the ground, doesn't matter. Probably you want to put your good hand, whatever that is, kneel on that knee. Alright? And now, you're going to put your target hand out. And I want you to, without picking the ball off the ground, I want you to put your hand on the ball, come forward, and deliver the ball one-handed, but don't pick it off the ground to do it. Alright? So you've got to put the ball back beside your knee so that you've got lots of lean forward. Make sure that you, I can't do it because my belly's too big.
Make sure that you get over top of your thigh, and you should finish leaning forward with both hands out in front. Right? Target hand for the receiver's got to be out. Go and get the ball early, right? Same thing. Target hand is out. If you feel like you've got too much power, feel free to back up. Your hands aren't what you want is active, right? But right now you're doing passive. Feel like you've had enough reps with your good hand, go to your weak hand. This will be an adventure for some. John's just made a point. For those of you who don't have big hands, make sure that you turn your wrist a quarter turn so your fingers are under the ball. Yeah, you can. You're out of line. Especially if your hand. Yeah. What happens is we get some players who say, well, I'm a lock, or I'm a prop. I'm never going to have to do this well. We really believe that all skills for all players. And our favorite story to tell, we had a gentleman named Russ Ward who played for us. Russ was a 6'2", 280-pound, fifth-year high school player who played for Canada as a prop. But we needed him to play the backs. So he played 12 for us because his ball skills were so good, his catch-pass skills were so good, because he had worked on them, he could play up there and be effective. And true to point, in 2007, when we had an opportunity in the semifinals, we were down 12-10. And, no, 12. Yeah, 12-10. You're down 12-10 late in the game, and it was Russ who actually ended up at the back of the ruck and delivered a 25-meter spin pass to our fly half, who slotted a drop kick with no time on the clock to win 13-12. And had he not had those ball skills, he wouldn't have put it into place if the kicker needed it to be able to do it, and he sure as hell wouldn't have thrown it 25 meters. All right, let's move on to the very last one. You can go to spread out on this one.
It's so hard to not pick up, like to throw.
We're still catching the ball early. Remember, strong target. Go reach for it. There you go, Mark. Good job. Remember to keep your chest over your knees. There you go. Good. Hold on. Good time. When you feel you're ready, there's always when you go to your knee in.
Oh god.
If you feel like you need to come closer, do that.
That was best.
Because you're not as sequenced to do that, right? Fine motors.
Grab it by, like if it's sitting on the ground, grab by the side part instead of the top. I think it stops me from like actually picking up the ball. Yeah. And it's hard to not just like, yeah, and hope I can get this ball.
Looks uncomfortable holding up.
Oh, it's
Damn you two with all your skill.
what's that?
I said, damn you two and all your skill.
It's almost with my right one.
What happens when you get older? It just starts getting soft all of a sudden.
The best part is that that's going to be on camera.
Oh.
All of this stuff is only to create the most memory to get all the time. As soon as you can bring in, running around, all of a sudden you go to pecking a hand back. Right? What's going to happen is just simply, you can start out walking in your ride, or a slow jog up here. One of the players is going to be on this making line. And maybe we'll move this to Matt's over here. And we'll have the other player going up with one of these other lines.
Steve, why don't we just move down?
Okay, so there's this baby blue line here. What I want you to do, so if Ryan's here, and Josh is there, so we're going to run down the court, okay? Now, we're going to complicate it by, I want you to stay on your line as much as you can. We have to now think about sequencing running skills with cash pass skills, right? So we don't want to be here, playing with our inside foot, and be trying to come across our body to make the pass, which is a normal mistake for new players. So we really want to make sure that we step here and sequence the motion through. We don't want to turn and run that way. We just want to step that way so that we can bring our hands through the target. Alright? So we're just going to spin pass. You don't have to drill through your chest. We're going to run down, and then when you come back the other way, make sure that you switch so that you're using your other hand. Right? Okay? Go ahead. Drop. Now, get your receiver, get your hand up, take the ball early. Receiver, hand up, take the ball early. All I do is determine how fast you think you want to run. If you think you're ready for it, fine. Jogging is fine too. Okay, so now what you're going to do, I want you, you guys think you're warmed up enough to sprint at least 75%? Yeah? Okay. Do the best you can. What I want you to do is I want the player with the ball to take off. Alright? I want this person to rock back one step before you go. That's going to create some depth. I want you to deliver the ball without slowing down to the best of your ability. Alright? Our receiver is going to get that target hand up, catch the ball, and sprint for at least 3 or 4 steps so that we simulate a more game-like condition. Alright? Then we're going to duplicate it going back the other way. Alright?
All of a sudden, we introduced the idea of sprinting and
So if you of you are talking very quietly, feel free to talk to each other. Watch your chest, Josh. Chest is coming up and the ball's sailing.
End up early, Ryan.